Rita, Tinina, they're reporting on the president trying to pitch for Kenya as a tourist destination to the more than 1 billion people in China. Let's now focus on a man who benefited from education in China. That is Chris Galili, aeronautical engineer, the man who may have invented Kenya's first drone. Thank you so much for joining us on Saturday Night Live. You have an amazing, brilliant invention, Chris, but you can't really use it now, can you?
No.
Why not?
As I had said it before, I'd approached the KCA, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, but going through the regulations, Kenya aviation regulations, is not covered yet in aviation Kenyan laws. So they told me they are still working on it. So I'll have to wait until they set the laws governing flying of the UAVs in this country.
All right, the concern here, Chris, because we spoke to some of the officials from Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, and the concern is that your invention could interfere with manned aircrafts.
Yeah, basically that is true, but to me, as an aeronautical engineer, I went through aviation laws and flight paths. I think I'm concerned with them, and I know all the flight paths in Nairobi. Having been in class like 5 years studying aeronautical engineering in different schools, going through different laws, and the same laws that we might use here is the same that I was using in China. So I know here even they can't come up with something new. It will be only, they'll be just improving on what is available. Yeah, so I know when I do fly it will be safe.
So if the laws have to change, what about the laws have to change to accommodate your invention?
Okay, what they should do is like give us an altitude of which we should fly our UAVs up to, because aeroplanes don't fly as low as rooftops. My drone is meant to fly over the roofs and do the recording, and maybe in the game reserve, and they should say to me where and how to fly and what time. Yeah.
All right, Chris, at the moment, you're the only one who can manage this, who can control it, really. And the concern is, if you get the license and now this can be used in the Kenyan airspace, what about the training of the men and women who will now be in charge of using this?
Flying the UAVs or RCs requires an experience. I have experience doing this, 3 years experience. So, but with this, I've flown it 1 year. So I know I'm competent enough, and whoever is willing to train and learn how to fly UAVs can contact me, because I did it technically in school.
So I can't offer it. To train other Kenyans.
I'm willing to train other Kenyans who are ready, but at a small fee, because I went through school at a very high cost. So maybe to some circumstances I can offer it for free, but if you're willing to pay, I'll be glad.
How long can it take, Chris, to train someone to use this? It took you 5 years?
It took me 5 years to get familiar with the UAVs generally, but we find that learning how to fly this is so simple, but you must learn how to use the controls. This is my third control, as you can see. This is my fourth one. The first and the second one, I couldn't bring them back home because this is just part of my station. I had like, I would pack them in 5 boxes. Big boxes, that is, and that will take like a big space in the aircraft. So I decided to sell some and donate some before coming back to the country. So like whoever wants to train, he has to buy a control first. The first thing is normally to buy a control. Then we have a software in a computer where you can train, you fly like a simulation, the normal simulation for the big aircraft. So you can learn on simulator. After you're competent enough on simulator, we go on ground and you start doing your flights.
Okay, Chris, I let our viewers know that we're going to speak to you on Saturday Night Live, and some of them had questions. Don Sabwa on Twitter asked, why reinvent the wheels? Drones have already been invented.
Actually, it depends where you want to use it and for what purpose. In Kenya, they are still not popular. Like the DJI I'm using, it's very light, as you can see, and we can fly it even over Nairobi city to monitor traffic jams. In a room the way you saw it fly here, in a wedding parties to record, it has a camera. So mine is basically used, we can use it home. Drones that are already in the market are big enough, and they're used for wars. They are programmed to go strike somewhere and come back home. This can fly and come back home, but it can't go as far as going to strike somewhere, because basically it's very light, so it can only accommodate the camera and the transmitter that is for transmitting the images on my screen here.
Okay, so Chris Diaz is asking, is this already in use? And if it's already in use, where is it already in use?
I think it's only Kenya. We are still behind on UAVs.
No, in Kenya.
Countries are competing. So Kenya, I've not heard of it yet. I think I'm the first one who is bringing it in. And
no, have you sold it out to anyone? Is there anyone currently using it?
Not yet, because I just arrived in the country last weekend.
Okay.
So when I brought it in, I think you are the first people to host me with it. And I'm glad for that, and I'm happy for that. I appreciate a lot. And I'm planning to bring more. That is, it will depend on the market around. And if civil aviation can give us the regulations to govern it, I think you'll be seeing drones flying over the sports stadiums, during the sports rallies, in the wild, covering the wildlife, and even in your studio.
You can use this.
Yeah.
Do you want to show our viewers how it works?
Okay.
Finally.
I will. The first thing is to... Now, this should transmit the images on my...
Yeah, because I know it has a camera. Just let it go up. We see how it goes.
I just want today, I'll just show you how it flies.
Okay.
The first thing is you switch on the remote. After switching on the remote, I'll connect the battery. This is a lithium battery. I'll connect it. That alarm shows that the speed control that controls every propeller is set and ready and in a sound position. Oh, sorry.
No problem.
These are screen guard during sunlight.
Okay, so can we take off?
Yeah, there are tests that should be carried out before any flight of a drone. You should first locate home, where when it goes out of sight or it goes beyond your control, you just switch off the remote and you sit down and wait. It will come back and land from where it took off, because this light you can see, this is a GPS. It has a GPS capability, so this should sense satellites in sight. Like now, you can see different colors. It's green, 1, 2, 3, 3 reds and 1 green. Shows it has less than 4 satellites reception. So we are going to set this as home. The first thing is the first thing, I've initialized the signal. So we are going to take off. Should I take off from
Yes, okay. Of course.
Okay, we are going to take off.
Yeah, I just want you to take off so that our viewers can have a look at how that happens.
I'll put on my camera so that I record whatever is going on, and I'll put it in video mode, not photography. It can take photos and it can take videos. Okay. So today I'm going to take the video of the studio where I am. And we start the engine. I'll request you move.
Yeah, have to.
Then we want to fly. The room is quite small, but
All right, there you have an indication of what Chris can do. This is what could be Kenya's first invented drone. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Saturday Night Live, for helping us to understand what this is all about. He says he can be able to train Kenyans who may want to use it, who may want to know how this works. And of course, all he's waiting for is that okay, and that license from the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Saturday Night Live. And I'm hoping you can get your license as well, so you can see how this works.
I hope so. Thank you very much for hosting me.
All right.